everyone's electricity bills are going up all across the country, and it's not because people are using more electricity.
After getting a job, I would have so much more money in my bank account.
You mean to tell me y'all paying between $300 to $500 a month?
I don't know who needs to hear this, but take this video as a sign and go negotiate your bills.
Here is why lately I've been feeling like going back to my home country. Because even after making $100 and something thousand a year in New York, being pretty savvy and disciplined with your money, it still feels like you're living paycheck to paycheck because the bills and the taxes and the fees for everything, it feels like it's never enough no matter how hard you work. And I work really hard. I do 16 hours, 6 days a week for the past 6 years.
Can we be so for real right now? I just got our electricity bill, and our bill went up $200. It's not $200, it went up $200. And at first I was like, maybe it's because the Christmas tree was on all month and the Christmas tree light. Obviously that's not the answer because there's no way Christmas tree lights would go up $200. You want to see what's $200? She's loud and noisy right there. From washing clothes, from doing this. And as a mom to 3 children now, how do I wash less clothes? I have to wash their bedding, like that's a thing, I have to wash it. And we are very blessed to have backup clothing, so if they were to get messy from breakfast or lunch or whatever, you either clean them up or you change their whole outfit depending on how bad it is. Which means you gotta throw it in the washer to wash it. Literally, I'm thinking about hand washing her clothes at this point because our electricity, seriously, what is the average electricity bill? Because I don't know if ours is just more expensive or what the heck's going on. And give me tips on how to wash less clothes. Do I just wear this 4 times before washing it? I don't really want to. It's probably gonna stink. Probably gonna have spit up on it. Do I spot clean my clothes? What do I do? Seriously, I cannot afford to keep paying this. This month, we have a little wiggle room, but next month we're not gonna have that wiggle room. So, literally living so tight budget right now because I know that bill's coming out.
So how much does it cost to go to the emergency room in the greatest country in the world? Especially for someone who has pretty good insurance and has already met their deductible for the year. Should be smooth sailing, right? Well, let's consult the bill. Now for context, I went to the emergency room because I was feeling extremely bad and they told me that nothing was wrong. But just to clarify, I got 0 help. They did run blood work and they did do an echocardiogram, but there was nothing wrong with me and I was perfectly fine. Spoiler, I was not perfectly fine. So back to the bill. If I didn't have insurance, that little trip would have cost me $6,159.88. But like I said, you have pretty good insurance and you've already met your deductible for the year. So you probably barely paid anything, right? Nope. Somehow, your total is still $542.36 to be sent home. And if you thought that was it, you would be wrong because you also have to pay the doctor. Yes, that's right. Nowadays, you get 2 bills. One bill to pay the hospital and another bill to pay the doctor because God forbid they all work together. In your second bill, you learn that you also owe the doctor before insurance, $1,286, after insurance, $51.41. In total, you are on the hook for, I'm trying to do this math in my head, $593.77. Nearly $600 to be given no help and sent away. And this is with your good fancy insurance. God forbid you have anything worse or are uninsured. Greatest country in the world, my ass.
Bro, how are people making it? If you making $30 an hour, it's weird to ask that, but how are you making it? After you pay your rent, $1,500 a month, that's on the low side. Car note, $500 a month. Phone bill, $100 a month. Insurance, gas, food, electricity, health insurance, all these day-to-day expenses. How are people making it? You do the math and you come back and tell me what the numbers look like for you. Because a person can make $30 an hour and is going to struggle. I can only imagine making $15 an hour. You cannot live on that. No, you cannot. You cannot convince me otherwise. You cannot live on $15 or $30 an hour, or you're going to stay broke. Convince me that.
I live completely alone in a 1-bedroom apartment, definitely less than 1,000 square feet, and my electric bill last month was $177, and I truly do not know how. When I opened up the bill, I thought I was seeing things. This is like the same cost that my electric bill is typically during the summer when I'm blasting both of my air conditioners. When I think of why it could possibly have been that high, the only thing I could think of is the air conditioners. Normally, I only try to have one on and not the other. Maybe I left both on at the same time. Also, I have 2 lights and 2 light switches in my bathroom. One of them is very dim, so it's very easy to miss. And a couple of times my boyfriend left it on overnight by accident. But like, does a light staying on all night actually raise it up? I feel like it's gonna be more of the air conditioners. This is me making a statement for myself that in a month, my electric bill needs to be less. I have not been using my air conditioners. I've been sleeping with my windows open. $177 a month was so far out of my budget for what I was expecting a September electric bill to be. I'm also just so confused because the electric bill in my apartment is the equivalent of what it used to be when I had my house and my ex-husband in like a 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom home. So I don't understand how it is so much higher now that I live alone. I don't know if the cost of electricity is different. Maybe it isn't the same. I feel like it was. I don't really know. This is the reality, and the crappy part of living alone is like all of the bills fall on you. And I know I'm a grown adult and like I have a career, but like it's so much. It's so much. And I don't want a roommate, and I don't want to live with my boyfriend yet. So like it is what it is, but it's just so much. And I don't want to spend $177 on electric just for lights and air.
What's your electric bill? And where do you live? I live in Southern California. My electric bill for a 2,900 square foot house, 2 AC units. The downstairs stays at 77 all the time, we don't touch it. Upstairs stays at 79 between the hours of 6 in the morning and 8:30, 9 o'clock in the evening. 8:30, 9 o'clock, we drop it down to 75. 4:30 in the morning, it goes up to 76. 6 o'clock, it goes up to 79. Don't have a pool, don't have jacuzzi. There's nothing to drain additional electricity from. My electric bill with no outstanding balance just for the month of July. Wanna guess? $950. I don't keep the TV on during the day. I don't turn lights on during the day. I keep the house pretty much closed so that it doesn't take that much energy to cool back down. And, you know, before people come in and go, well, it's because you turn everything up. We're literally told to keep our air at 78. So that's what we're told to do. Now, $950 is a bargain compared to what I paid in my previous home a couple of years ago. We had a 3,800 square foot home. Again, 2 AC units. My electric, and we had a pool and a jacuzzi. My electric bills at that house during the summer, $1,500. $950. Thank God I understand, and I know that, you know, the summer, the budget for the electricity is just outrageous and astronomical, and Southern California's Edison keeps raising its fucking rates because, you know, wildfires and infrastructure, and somehow it's always their infrastructure that causes the wildfires that we then have to pay the taxes to. But, you know, whatever. We won't talk about that. $950. What's your electric bill? Because if anyone tells me it's like $50, I'm gonna lose my mind. And I'm moving in with you. So just be forewarned, because do you know what I could do with $950? $950. Fuck me.
I thought after getting a job, I would have so much more money in my bank account, but after paying for rent, bills, utility, maxing out my 401k, buying groceries, and having some money left over for fun, I have 69 cents left in my bank account.
I am so pissed. Not only my electric and gas bill has been outrageous here in Staten Island, New York, but I just got my water bill. Do you want to guess how much it is? Guess how much it is. I'll tell you, $1,000. That's right, $1,000. For 2 months, I would say. That's how much they charge you every 2 months. I know some states don't even get a water bill, but here in New York, you get a damn water bill, electric and gas. And don't forget taxes. It was never $1,000. Even when we filled up our whole pool, it wasn't $1,000. So, of course, I called her up, but you know they're not going to give in. She says probably from watering your grass or watering your vegetables or flowers. You gotta be kidding. I'm not allowed to have vegetables no more or water my grass? This shit gotta stop, I tell you right now. Anybody else have a big water bill or gas or electric that live in New York? This is crazy.
I just got my hospital bill where I lived full time for 22 days, then had a C-section, and then stayed an additional 4 days. So let's go through some of the big ticket items because it would take me forever to read all of this. The anesthesia for 90 minutes, $6,300. The laboratory, $5,216. Operating room services, $28,350. Other imaging services, $9,491. The recovery room, where I went for 2 hours after the surgery, $6,150. And the room and board for those first 22 days, $183,600 for a total of $237,445 with 96 cents. This does not include the NICU where my son then went. And shockingly, this is less than we thought it would be. Thank God for insurance.
And what she was talking about was just like the big things. I'm sure when she looks at like, you know, the medication she was given, I've seen, for example, like just like one dose of Tylenol is costing someone like $12, $13, which we all know that's what like a bottle costs. And it's because of crazy prices like this is why people avoid going to a hospital. And especially with insurances having like in-network versus out-of-network providers, the price can just be astronomical.
This next message goes out to the American healthcare system. The prices are fucking astronomical. We need a rework of the whole goddamn system. It's like you pay every month for the insurance, you pay when you get to the doctor, and then you pay for whatever insurance don't feel like paying. It's getting so bad, God forbid, I might need like a surgery or something, like a leg amputation. I get halfway through the surgery and start thinking about the price. I might be like, you know what, just put the leg back on. Just put it back on. A few years ago, I went to an urgent care for a little bit of pain. I walked out that building with a $2,000 bill and a prescription for some Tylenol. I could have just went to CVS. Like sometimes I don't even want to go to the hospital because I know it might cost me an arm and a leg, literally and figuratively. When I go to the hospital, I be scared of the bill more than I am the diagnosis. What kind of shit is that? Like, I ain't got all the answers, but we need to find something real goddamn soon. Sincerely, an upset patient.
Okay, seriously, WTF. I need somebody to make this make sense to me. So I made a video a month ago about our electric bill was $830. It made me sick to my stomach. Now, listen, our bills have been high for 15 years, anywhere between $400 and $700. We've had the electric company come out. They tell us there's no problem. There's nothing from the pool to our house. It must be something in the house. So we have replaced everything, all the appliances, new hot water tank, new dishwasher, new washer dryer, the whole bit, right? So I made a video this morning showing you guys our electric bill for the past year. It wasn't until I watched that I realized our new bill is on there. You guys, I am so sick. What a way to ruin my Monday and the whole freaking week now. So our bill was $830 last month. It's $1,253 this month. Tell me how. After we opened that bill last month for $830, we went through the house. Now, we had 2 adult men that lived in the house, our sons, both move out. So nothing is running in their bedrooms. Everybody says unplug everything that you're not using. Okay, so we have unplugged everything. Literally unplugged everything in the entire house that could be drawn power that we're not using. Like our everyday appliances, refrigerator, washer, dryer, stove, microwave, lamps. They're not on, but they're plugged in. So we don't watch TV. Our televisions are never on. We don't have a pool. We don't have central AC. I just don't know. I don't understand how this is possible. It went up $420 after unplugging everything. Somebody make this make sense to me. So I so badly want to do this Christmas open house and invite everybody in and see that magic for the kids and see the smiles. And there's literally no way. I cannot afford $1,253 without Christmas lights. So I don't know what we're going to do. Like, after taxes and insurance is taken out of my bill or on my check, that's like literally one of my paychecks. So one whole check for the month is going to go towards our electric bill. Like, I am sick to my stomach. I don't know what to do. Anyhow, that's my rant for Monday.
So you mean to tell me y'all paying between $300 to $500 a month on your electricity bill only? Does not include nothing else. What y'all saying? Cause the math ain't mathing. I stay in a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath. I have my air conditioners on all day long. From the time I get up to the time I go sleep, they on. I don't pay no more than $160 year round. If my bill ever get $200 some, that means I didn't pay a month. I'm behind. But being over $150 a month for electricity is insane. I even seen somebody say they stay in Texas and there's like $540. Excuse me. Who this for? Who finna pay this? So how long do y'all have your air running? And how much y'all bill a month? Because this can't be real.
If you live in the state of New Jersey and you haven't looked at your electric bill yet, prepare yourselves. That increase, that 20% PSE&G increase just went into effect, and I kind of was batting an eye at it. I wasn't really paying too close of an attention. We are on what's called an equal payment plan, where each year at the end of your calendar year, so ours is in June, they recalculate how much electric you used per month and they average it out and they give you a steady monthly payment. So that way you know what to budget for. Then at the end of that calendar year, you either have to pay overages for what you used or they give you a check if you paid too much. That never happens. Newsflash. In the past, we've been in this house for 5 years. Our house is 1,200 square feet. It is a small house. In the past, I've always had to pay like, I would say around $400 extra per year. And my monthly payment has stayed around the low 200s. So like, let's say last year, my monthly payment for all of 2024 until June 2025 was $226. I just got my bill and it's the year-end bill. They're charging me an extra $1,300 for the year. And my monthly payment is going up $160. $226 to $380. How can anyone afford to live in this state anymore? It's just beyond frustrating. Nothing has changed in our life. We don't have anything extra. Our house is not larger. We haven't made any accommodations to our house from an electrical standpoint. To go from $226 to $380 a month. That's insane.
Let's start a thread. What's your electric bill? Mine was $203 for the month of July, which is $61 cheaper than it was last month, which was $144. Now, June was a very mild month in the Northwest. It was actually cold, is what it felt like, to me anyway. So the AC wasn't running too bad, so $144 kind of makes sense. What I want to talk about, though, is I made this same post last month. What's up with everywhere else charging so much for their electric? It was astronomical in some of the comments. Okay, some of the ones that stick out to me was California. California's broken, I swear. People are, yeah, over $1,000 easily. Arizona, another one. That one, same, over $1,000. And then the other one that I guess kind of shocked me was Illinois. Dude. Okay, I don't know if these people are trolling me or they're just like, what are they doing in their house? I could see if you got, you know, there's so many factors here. I don't know what they're doing in their house. Close the door. AC's just kicking up. Anyways, what was your electric bill for the month of July? Mine was $203. I'm not complaining. What was yours?
Apparently, everyone's electricity bills are going up all across the country, and it's not because people are using more electricity. In my opinion, it's just because they can, but it's because the grid itself is old and needs repairs, so they're basically having us pay for those repairs for the grid that's out of date. And then on top of that, there are like these AI data centers that basically take up so much energy that it is putting strain on the grid, and then everyone has to eat the cost. On top of that, there's tariffs on natural gas. And then they passed a bill that makes cuts to clean energy. So like all of these things is going to make the electricity bills higher. And I think of that and it makes me wonder, like, what is it that makes these billionaires actually want all the money? Like, why do they actually need to hoard more wealth? Why does the, amount of money that we pay have to go up so significantly? And it feels like it's happening like rapidly right now. It feels like it's happening more rapidly than it's ever happened before. Like the prices are inflating, and I know that tariffs and basically a lot of things that the current administration is doing in regards to like executive orders, but it's just like, do they need like all of this money for a specific reason? Like they already have so much money and now everything's going up in price. So it's like they're honestly trying to make as much money as they can possibly make before a certain thing happens, because then they'll need to use their money for whatever happens next. But like we don't know what they're trying to get all of this money for, besides we just think they're hoarding wealth, which is what they're doing, but it's like, for what? And then the grid being weak already, like, and that going down, like, it's just too much is going into that right now. And then everyone's electricity bills are going up, and then they honestly want to criminalize being homeless. Like, but if people can't afford their bills, how are they gonna, you know what I mean? Like, it's really seeming like a setup, if you're asking me.
So I got a little letter in the mail today from our insurance company. Our insurance company is Cigna Healthcare. So Cigna, I hope you have a TikTok, because I'm about to blast the shit out of you. Step number 1, our deductible is almost $10,000 a year. Okay, that's not your fault. Well, it is your fault because you just run a fucking scam. Step number 2, my son is battling cancer. Childhood cancer, was diagnosed last year at the age of 9. We have to drive 3.5 hours to the closest children's hospital, okay? It's phenomenal. The best hospital we have ever been to. The oncologist team, the oncology team is phenomenal. We love it so much. He has received his whole care there, right? He's in maintenance mode, meaning he's done the hardest part, and now we just have to keep going for the next 5 years. And he's still on chemotherapy. He still goes once a month. Well, you sent me this lovely paper today telling me that Tenet Health they want to charge too much. And so we can't renew our contract with them. So you can find a different hospital in Tucson, though. Tucson, that's where the closest in-network hospital is now going to be for you. Oh, by the way, we're going to offer you a community care application that you can fill out. It's only going to take about 55 hours for you to fill out, and that will extend your care if he has ongoing care for 90 days, okay? But that's the best we can do, all right? Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm just a little confused. Back it up. I already pay almost $800 a month, sometimes more, comes out of my husband's paycheck to have your healthcare insurance, plus our deductible, okay? Plus the deductible that we have to pay every year, $10,000 off the top. And now you're telling me that the team that has been treating my son from the very beginning, that helped find his cancer diagnosis and saved his life, can no longer be his doctor because you guys are so fucking greedy that you don't want to partner with him anymore. So now I have to figure it out. I have to uproot my son, who is already battling cancer, because you guys need a little bit more money. And we say America is the greatest country on earth. We love it so much, don't we?
Millions of Americans just woke up in 2026 with a fucked up surprise. Their health insurance just increased drastically in price. Overnight, the enhanced ACA subsidies expired, and Congress did nothing to stop it. Nothing. But I don't think anyone is surprised. These tax credits kept premiums affordable for over 20 million people. Self-employed workers, farmers, small business owners, parents, people who don't get insurance from a job and don't qualify for Medicaid or Medicare. Some families are seeing costs double. Others are seeing them triple. One mom's premium went from $85 a month to nearly $750. Another went from $350 to $500 just to stay covered. Lawmakers knew this deadline was coming for years. Democrats warned about it. Even some Republicans admitted it was a problem. Trump floated a fix, then backed off after conservative backlash, so the subsidies died. At the same time, Congress already slashed over $1 trillion from healthcare and food assistance, and now millions are being told to figure it out. Experts say nearly 5 million people could drop coverage entirely this year because they simply cannot afford it, which makes healthcare more expensive for everyone else. So that sucks. People are now choosing between rent, groceries, and staying alive. Keep in mind, this is a political choice. Affordability is voters' #1 issue heading into the midterms, and Washington just made healthcare dramatically more expensive for millions of families.
Sup, America? We got a real problem on our hands. The guy that actually has the Sup America account has told us that his electrical bill has gone from $225, more than 100% doubled, to $550, and then his bill says that it's going to be 16% more next month. He says that they have an AI data center that's just been implanted right next to his house. This is the reason why the costs are going up. So he called the company and said, hey, why are my costs doubled? And they said, because it costs that much extra to transfer it to your house. No change in power lines, no change in any infrastructure, just the fact that the AI data center is there. Now, this is a real problem because AI is basically making us pay for its existence. That's what we're paying for. And this is not just in Indiana, it's also in Ohio, it's also in Kentucky, and all these people are making videos about it. You'll see them all over TikTok. So this is a real problem. How are we going to address this? This is not just our future, but our children's future. How are we going to be able to pay double our electric bill, maybe triple, maybe quadruple by the end of this year? The answer is we won't. And there's going to be some sort of breaking point. So what do you think we're going to have to do about this? What's going to be the change? Are we just going to be slaves to them giving us quadruple, double, triple? Or are we going to be able to make an alternative? Is it solar? Is it something else? Put your comment in the comments section. This is unacceptable.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but take this video as a sign and go negotiate your bills. So I've been with T-Mobile for 6 years, and when they get that class action lawsuit, oh, count me in. But that's not the point. That's not the point. This is how much I've been paying for 2 lines. 2 bumper ass lines. Why did I pay $505 in August? They can't even tell me. Now, I did get a new phone in June. One of my phones was paid off. The other phone was not paid off. I was paying $35 extra a month. But my plan went from me paying, I think, $120 to $108. Okay, cool. All of a sudden, I started paying $220. I didn't, okay, cool. Now, I did upgrade my plan because I travel a lot and I wanted to have the perks of having unlimited data when I was outside the country. But I'll get outside the country and my data will still suck. So I made it my business to call them to tell them that I was going to leave and I was going to find somewhere else because why am I paying so much money for only 2 lines? Let's just say after that phone call, they dropped my phone bill to 50% lower. I am now only paying $80 a month. And she was like, yeah, you don't have to pay $108. Why don't you just get the travel pass, the international pass when you travel? What are you talking about, miss? What international pass? Why didn't I know about this international pass? Mind you, I was paying all this money. No, my Hulu was not connected. No, my Netflix was not connected. I didn't know about none of that. I wasn't paying attention to all of that. I was just paying the bill. Apparently, when you go out the country, you can get an international pass for 10 days, 7 days, 50 days. For 10 days, it's like $35 extra and it goes on to your next bill. And for a month, it's like $50 extra and it goes on to your next bill. So you mean to tell me I could have been paying $80 this whole time a month for 2 of my lines. And every time I travel, I just have to pay $50 a month for unlimited data and then an extra $10 for a hotspot to connect both of my phones. Go negotiate your phone bill. Go call them right now and tell them you about to leave.
We've talked about our electric bills, but now that it's winter, let's talk about the gas bills. So I had somebody send me a copy of their gas bill from South Jersey, which is different from mine as far as the company. And it was the delivery charge that was the bulk of the bill, which is the same for me. We have New Jersey Natural Gas, and my delivery charge is about 3 times the amount calculated for the therms used. And so because I'm not all-knowing, I looked up why the delivery charge is so high, what goes into it. So before somebody comes at me of like, oh, you're Googling information. So it gives me 5 factors. The first is the aging infrastructure demands big investments. So New Jersey's gas system includes thousands of miles of pipes. Many are over 100 years old. So the $1 billion in enhancements gets passed via the delivery rates. The second one is the state mandated program that adds layers to it. New Jersey requires it to fund societal benefits. So about 20 to 30% of the delivery goes to things like LIHEAP, heating aid for low-income households, energy audit rebates, and green initiatives. These are riders that can't be shopped around. They're baked in for equity and climate goals. A lot of the expenses, like the pipe maintenance, are fixed year-round, but charged per therm. So when you hit the winter, it's a lot more. Then there were recent rate hikes. Even though the price of gas dropped 20 to 30%, the delivery increased about 15%. And then the last thing is there's no real competition. So when you look at your bill, it's broken into 4 parts, which this gave me an example of, say you're using 100 therms. Your customer service charge is that fixed monthly fee for billing, metering, and customer service. That would typically be $10 to $15, depending on which company you have. It's 5 to 10% of your bill. Then you have that distribution-based delivery, which is a variable fee per therm of the operating pipeline network. And that's about 90 cents to $1 per therm. It's 40 to 50% of your bill. The rider and surcharge programs, that's those add-ons by the state mandated initiatives for energy efficiency rebates, for low-income assistance, and for environmental compliance, also for infrastructure replacements and aging pipelines. So that is 30 to 45 cents per therm of your bill. It's about 25% of your bill. And then you have taxes. So New Jersey sales tax, 6.625%. Plus there's weather conservation adjustments. So that's a flat 10 to 15, or it could be per therm, but it's usually 5 to 10% of your bill. How's your gas bill looking?
Just in case you've ever wondered what happens when you don't pay your medical bills, my doctor, for the first time the other day, said to me, "You have an outstanding balance." And all I could do was stand there like, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much." Do you get it?